Okay, so we're going to get insights into this book. Just a few questions here and there. You know, Dr. Adaba is an interviewer, and he's going to be interviewed. He'll be on the hot seat. I see they're black. It should have been one red and one black, but it's okay. He'll be on the hot seat, and he'll be interviewed. Just ask a few questions about the book, and also share some of his thoughts here. But I'd like to respectfully recognize my spiritual head who came in while the book review was going on, Reverend Father George Ehusani, Executive Director of the Luke Sterrer Leadership Foundation. Thank you, Father, for being here. He's way up there. And also all members of the Luke Sterrer family. Thank you so much for being here. Right. Auntie Eugenia will take us through the insights. I'd like to invite her and also invite the author, Dr. Tom Adaba, to take his seat, the hot seat. Yes, yeah. Yeah, he still has his groove on. Trust me, he still does. Okay. Two mics. Two.
Abo nene akoro. Abo. Wa menene anyaro isivuri. Abo. I've heard a lot of people say, you speak Igbira. I'm like, I beg your pardon. Of course I do. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is an incredibly difficult task, to be asked to come and interview a giant of a man, not only in the field of broadcasting, but a man who, like I said from the beginning, has shown the way for the rest of us to follow. A distinguished broadcaster from coast to coast, an international personality of great proportions, and a man who has distinguished himself in the academia, who has distinguished himself in regulation, being the pioneer Director General of the NBC. Please, help me welcome to the hot seat, Dr. Tom Adaba. You're a man of deep tradition, a man of deep cultural backgrounds. It's interesting to see that your love of your people earned you such a huge, incredible title, which is basically translated to mean light, a beacon of light. Such a big title, which indicates that you are showing the way at all times. I've looked at this book. I've looked at the title. It is expected that you would write a book, but we did not know when. And I'm glad that it is at this time, when we all need a lot to learn from you. Why Bet for God? How did you arrive at that title?
Thank you. I think that is more of an information than anything else. I looked at my life. I looked at all that I passed through. And there isn't any single thread of it that was not handled by God for me. That God did not intervene for me. Who else could have done it? If he did it, I should give him all the credit. But for him, I wouldn't have been what I am. Can we have another microphone, please?
Thank you. So, basically, you put God above all things. And we've known you for many years as I was growing up as that man who loved to go to church. You love to go to church. You still love to go to church.
Yes, of course.
It is beautiful to see. And that has now distilled into the title of your book. It's amazing. But it will be interesting to know, because I joined many, many years after you. How did you become the broadcaster that you are today? What was the first step you took to enter television?
Thank you very much. That again, but for God. When I was, going through the teaching experience or the teachers' colleges, I did my grade 3, I did my grade 2, I did my NCE, which clearly tells you, if you think I'm joking, I'm a good teacher. Get that? I struggled very much after failing to continue with the priesthood. I struggled very much to go into the army. And I failed again. The 2 times, told to go for one interview or whatever it is, or the other. The first was in Enugu, the other one was in Kaduna. Those 2 times, just at the verge of leaving for these places, I got a telegram to say it has been cancelled. Then I was beginning to get a signal that wasn't meant for me. But I was undaunted about that. This was when I had my grade 2 teachers' college education. So when I was going in for I had some of these other, can I say, lucrative subjects. But I said I wouldn't. I deliberately put in physical education in one of the courses in the ATC. And I said, at least with my qualification in physical education, I'll see how these soldiers will tell me not to come in. But after my experiences in Kaduna, seeing the television and so on and so forth, I developed a lot of interest in educational programs. I developed a lot of interest in television. But I didn't know how I could go into it. Kaduna, if you know, had 2 stations then. One radio, one television, owned by the then Northern Nigeria government. Then another station, a shortwave station, owned by the federal government, which we in the hinterland of the north could at least listen to. But people who were in Kaduna, they had the access to TV, they had access to radio. So I said, I would, if I got the opportunity, go in for broadcasting. That's my other alternative to the military. In my second year, at the end of my second year in the Advanced Teachers College in Kano, which was a gift of the American government to the Northern Nigeria government. They gave it there, they brought staff and they were handling everything there. At the end of that year, we organized a send forth for the American staff who were going, a send forth for the students who were graduating, and then also a welcome party for those who were coming in. And I was the director of socials, so I handled it. It turned out a very huge success story. This was on a Saturday. We brought out masquerades, brought out singers, brought out all sorts of people. And it was great. So many of the Americans who attended went back and told the others who couldn't attend that they missed a lot. Among those who could not attend was the chief of party, their own boss. On Monday, I just saw my name on the news notice board that he wanted to see me. And I went, I introduced myself. He said, "Oh, you are Thomas Adaba. Thank you very much for coming." Blah, 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 blah. He gave me £10, in support of the activities, which I gave to the Students' Union. I didn't chop it too. Then he now told me, he asked, "Is it possible to have this on television?" I said, "Yes, it is, provided they had all that was needed." Then he said I should go and see one Mr. Clark in the TV house in the station there. I didn't know we had a television house in the college, a closed educational television. Then I went there. The person I met whom I asked for Mr. Clark was Mr. Clark himself. So he said, "Yes, what can I do for you?" I said, "I was already to meet you." And we talked and talked. Apparently, no was interviewing me. When he finished, he said, "I want you to please handle a program for me for the students on a weekly basis." I said, "What do I know about it?" He said, "Well, do what you can." We agreed. I said I should write him a plan. What am I going to plan when I knew nothing about television? But he said I should. Then it dawned on me that very weekend, the Students' Union were going to have their elections. So I told him, and I said, "Why don't we have these people come in here and let each sell himself for about 2 minutes?" He said, "What? But there isn't the time." I said, "Don't worry about time, we'll take care." And he was open about it. I left his office, I went straight to the notice board, left a note there that all who to contest elections for that year, they should meet me at the TV house the following morning at 8 o'clock. 7:45, when I got there, the whole place was full. And everybody was ready to go to appear on television. So I told them to go and get prepared, get their speeches ready, and come in their Christmas clothes. so that they would look good. The following day, what he was going to say to them. He said, "No, it's your baby, handle it." So I addressed them and I said, we should all go in for our 2 minutes. The entire program lasted 2 hours. And I tell you, it was just simply amazing. It was God's work. This man came into the studio and just grabbed me, held me high and said, "Thomas, you did a wonderful job." I said, "Oh, thank you very much, sir." I said, "Where have you been practicing?" I said, "I've never handled a microphone in my life." There he looked at me and he said, "It's impossible." I think it was there he took his decision. And he made a recommendation that I should be given a scholarship by the USAID, United States Agency for International Development, to go in for a course in mass communications. Immediately I graduated. And that was precisely what happened. I got the scholarship, got all my papers ready, and immediately I finished, I graduated. I was sent along with a few other Nigerians to Ohio University, where I did my first degree in mass communication. In fact, I was given 3 years, but I thought I was smart, but I failed. I rushed my courses, hoping that I would be able to, within those 3 years, I could also do a master's degree. I did this first degree in 1 year, 9 months, which they were most pleased about. But they told me, "You have finished. We sent you here for a bachelor's degree. You have done it. Go home." I had no choice. So I came back and I was now working in my alma mater, in the teachers' college, the Advanced Teachers College there, doing the programs, the educational programs, and also doing some teaching. That's how I got into broadcasting.
Incredible. Incredible. From not having ever touched the microphone to becoming a gentleman who Mr. Clark totally fell in love with. Congratulations, sir.
In fact, let me very quickly put that my wife and I were invited by him with our little one. Where is Margaret? His family invited us to come and have lunch. So we went. And towards the end of that luncheon, Mr. Clark was pleading to me to please accept to go to America. And I looked at him and I said, this man doesn't know what he's talking about.
Sir, I would like to ask two quick questions. And Inya has a stop clock on the time and is ensuring that we wrap up appropriately.
Thank you.
So one of them would require quite a short answer, really. Because what haven't you done in broadcasting? You have run commentary. And today when you listen to people running commentary, you're like, a few times you hear people mention the wrong person, even though there's someone on television we can see. You ran commentary, you read the news, you produced drama, you acted, and you produced programs. So tell me, and I'm sure this would be easy, which was your favorite?
They were all beautiful. Oh, you want me to say I ran news?
Nothing, sir. I haven't said
news,
anything.
Yes, okay. Yakubu, you're hearing, so maybe you will employ me.
Finally, sir, what does family mean to you?
Well, that is the center of anyone's life. If you have a family, you have an asset. And more still when you're blessed with wonderful, gorgeous, glorious, excellent, well-behaved children, you are proud. The family, as the church says, is the nuclear what? Cardinal, tell me now. He says, Ogini, now waiting. The family is what? What is the nucleus of society. Of society. The nucleus of society and even of the church. So it is the highest point in one's life. And that's exactly what it means to me.
It has been an incredible honor speaking with you, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's a very huge seat. I thank you so very much. And I'd like to thank you all for your time, for making the time to watch this very little interview, which has taken place here with our very distinguished author. I thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Please, another round of applause. Thank you so much. Okay. Abonene. Wamenene. Abonene. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please, a round of applause for the Ibira troop. Thank you so much. Reverend Father Alumuku, I see you seated there. You're welcome, sir. Director of Communications, the Archdiocese, you're welcome. Reverend Father Patrick Alumuku.